alaikum. Hello, grade 6. How are you? I hope that all of you are fine. Today, inshallah, in this video, we will take a new lesson which is about gravity. I hope that all of you are ready to see our new lesson. In this video, inshallah, we will learn many things. The first thing that we are going to learn is the meaning of force. We will know what is the meaning of force, and also we will learn the meaning of gravity. After that, we will know what are the factors that affect the force of gravity. And finally, we will answer this big question. Why gravity is so important? Is it important? Why? Okay, the new words that we are going to learn in this video, inshallah, are force and gravity. Okay, to know what is the meaning of force, I want you to look at these pictures, please, with me. If I asked you to move this object, let us say that this object is a big box. It is a big box, and I asked you to move this big box. What will you do? Maybe one of you will push this object. You will push this box so it will be moved. Or maybe another one will pull this object. So if I asked you to move an object, you might push this object or pull this object. Well, actually, this is the meaning of the force. This is the meaning of the force. It is a push or a pull that makes things move. This is the meaning of the force. It is, yalla, repeat after me. It is a push or a pull that makes things move. So I cannot move any object if I don't give it a force. I have to give a push or a pull that makes things move. Very good. Okay, how is that related to our lesson for today? Okay, I will tell you a short story. Once upon a time, there was a scientist. His name is Isaac Newton. He was sitting under a tree, under an apple tree, and suddenly an apple just fell down to the ground. He thought, he asked himself, what made the apple fell down to the ground? He thought, of course there is a force that made the apple move down. Because we said that force, it is a push or a pull that makes things move. So there is a force that pulled the apple down. So he thought and thought a lot. So Newton is a scientist. He said that there is a force that made apple move from the tree toward the earth. He said that there is must a force that made the apple move, pulled the apple down toward earth. So he thought, what is this force? He said that this force is gravity. So he defined gravity as it is a force that tends to pull or attract objects toward each other. This is the meaning of gravity. It is a force because it makes things attracted to each other. It pulls things toward each other. Well, actually, in the past, they thought only the earth attract things, and that is true. If you have a ball, for example, and when you throw the ball, when you free the ball from your hands, it will be what? It will be pulled down because the earth has gravity force. It will pull the ball down. But not only the earth, actually all objects have gravity force, has a gravitational force. So they pull each other, they attract each other, but each object has a different force of gravity. Some of the objects have a bigger force of gravity, some of them have a smaller force of gravity. It depends on the mass, and we will learn this in the upcoming slides. So gravity is a universal force. What is the meaning of universal force? It means that it happens also in the universe. Here I have the Earth planet and I have the Moon. Which one of them has a bigger mass? Which one of them is heavier? Yes, excellent. Of course, the Earth planet has a bigger mass. So that's why the force of gravity in the Earth is bigger than the force of gravity in the Moon. So the Earth will pull the Moon toward it. So that's why the Moon will move in a circular way. That's why the Moon will circle around the Earth because of the gravity. The gravity is a force that will pull things toward each other. But which one of them has a bigger mass? The one that has a bigger mass will have a bigger force of gravity. The Earth has a bigger mass than the Moon, so the Earth will pull the Moon. That's why the Moon will circle around the Earth. As I told you, my dears, gravity is not only for the Earth, but also for all objects. All objects attract each other. All objects have a gravitational force. عندهم قوة جاذبية. Here, for example, I have the solar system. Here is the solar system. We have the sun in the middle. Here is the sun in the center. And I have the planets. الكواكب, I have the planets. So all of the planets, they are moving in an arranged way. They are moving in a circular way around the sun. The sun has the biggest mass. Which one is heavy from these objects? Of course, the sun. The sun has the biggest mass, so it has the greatest force of gravity. هي أقوى هي عندها أكبر قوة من الجاذبية. It has the biggest or the greatest force of gravity, so it will attract all the planets. That's why the planets will circle around the sun. They will not swim here and there in a random way. No, but they are pulled. They are attracted to the sun because of the gravity. Okay? So here is another picture. Which one has the bigger mass? The Earth planet or the Moon? Of course, you will say it is the Earth planet. The Earth planet has a greater mass. So which one will have a greater force of gravity? Of course, the Earth planet. So the more the mass an object has, the greater the force of gravity it exerts. The more the mass the object has, the greater the force of gravity it exerts. So here, Earth has a greater mass than the Moon. Which one is heavier, the Earth or the Moon? Of course, you'll say that it is the Earth. The Earth has a greater mass than the Moon, so the Moon will circle around the Earth. The Moon will circle around the Earth because of the gravity. The Earth pulls the Moon toward its direction. Okay, here we have another picture. So the gravity, the force of gravity, it depends on the mass. Here I have two objects. Which one of them has a bigger mass? Yes, let's say that this is object A and this is object B. Which one of them has a bigger mass? Excellent, it is object A. It has a bigger mass. So the bigger the mass, the greater the gravity. So it has more gravity than object B because it has a less mass. Okay, so the force of a gravity depends on two things. So if I ask you, what are the two factors that affect the force of a gravity؟ يعني شن الشغلتين اللي بيأثروا على الجرافيتي؟ What are the two things that affect the gravity? Number one is the mass. As the mass increases, the force of a gravity increases. Okay, this is the first factor. The second factor is the distance. How far two objects are from each other? How far are two objects from each other? This is the meaning of distance, my dears. So